So what we're given is this weird, funky polynomial, and what we're trying to do is make it simple. And it says if 3x to the fourth plus x third minus 17x squared plus 19x minus 6 is divisible by x squared minus 2x plus 1, find all the zeros. Well, what we can do is that we can notice that this is already something that already gives us some zeros, which is x minus 1 and x minus 1. Because if we multiply negative 1 times negative 1, we get positive 1. And if we add negative 1 plus negative 1, we get negative 2. So that's why. So we already know that we have an x, we already know that we have a 0 that's x equal 1. So that's a good start. Now we can't just solve this in our heads. So what we have to do is that we will be using long division. And don't worry, it's not that hard as you think. We're going to work through it side by side. So what we get, we're going to put under the doghouse. So let's see. So what we have, we're going to be using the doghouse. We'll go under the doghouse is this huge polynomial, which is 3x to the fourth plus x cubed minus 17x squared plus 19x minus 6. And it is divisible by this, so this will go out here. X squared minus 2x plus 1. And what we're trying to do now with this is we're trying to figure out the dumber one, you could say, the simpler one. Simpler equation here. Another polynomial from another set of polynomials. So what we can do, we can notice that what will we have to multiply to get 3x squared? What do we have to multiply from x squared to get 3x to the fourth? And that's pretty easy. It's 3x to the squared, because x squared times 3x squared is 3x to the fourth. And now we're going to put an emphasis on subtracting. So let me bring out the subtraction signs here, because you'll see in a moment why. You'll see in a moment, because if not, we won't get a solution at all. So now x squared times 3x squared, we get 3x to the fourth. And now we have to multiply 2x squared times multiplied by 3x to the, negative 2x times 3x squared. And what we'll get is negative 6x cubed. And after that, we have to multiply 1 times 3x squared. And what we'll get is positive 3x squared. And keep in mind that we're still subtracting these. It's an emphasis on it because it's important. You'll see what I mean in a moment. Now, when we subtract these, what we'll get, 3x to the fourth minus 3x to the fourth is 0, so I'm not going to put anything there. But now, x cubed minus negative 6x cubed. And keep in mind that when we subtract a negative, it's basically adding it, like adding a positive, just a positive, it turns into a positive. So what we get is 7x cubed. And let me fix that for a second. And then negative 17x squared minus positive 3x squared. Well, we get negative 20x squared. And we're going to bring down this positive 19 as well. And now what we're going to do is multiply. What do we have to multiply to get from x squared to get 7x squared? Well, what we're going to do is that we can multiply 7x, positive 7x. So let's put that, positive 7x. And after this, what we can do is that we just multiply, and then we put an emphasis on subtracting, because that's always what we're going to do with it. X squared times 7x, we get 7x cubed, and then negative 2x times 7x is negative 14x squared, and then 1 times 7x is positive 7x. And keep in mind we're putting an emphasis on subtracting, so that's important. And after this, what we get, 7x cubed minus 7x cubed. Well, what we get is nothing, so I don't have to put anything. And then negative 20 minus negative 14x squared. But keep in mind that we're basically, because when you subtract a negative, it's basically turning the whole thing into like a positive 14. And basically what we get is negative 6x squared. And then 19 minus 7x, what we get is positive 12x. And we bring this down over here, minus 6. And after this, what we get, well, the last thing that we have to do is that we have to see what do we have to multiply. Let me zoom in. But what do we have to multiply to get from x squared to negative 6x squared? Well, what we can multiply is negative 6. Because negative 6 times x squared, and let me put an emphasis on subtracting first. So let's put an emphasis on subtracting right now. So negative, and what we get is x squared times negative 6. We get negative 6x squared. And I'm sorry if you can't see that. Sorry, but I'm trying my best. And after that, what we get is negative 2x minus 6 is positive 12x. And after that, 1 times negative 6, we get negative 6. Now, we're almost done, so let's see if I can fit this into frame. And now we're going to split this apart, and let's see if I can scroll down without hurting anything. Now, negative 6x squared minus negative 6x squared. Well, it changes to positive. But, so negative 6 plus 6x squared, we get 0. So I'm not going to put anything. Positive 12 minus 12, we get 0. And then negative 6 minus negative 6. Well, you heard that. Negative 6 minus negative 6. So what we get is 0. And in the end, we're done. We just solved it, and our simplified form is, let's bring that there. And our simplified form would be 3x squared plus 7x minus 6. And you might think we're done, but oh no, we're not done yet. And you'll see in a moment. Now, sorry for the little delay, but now we have this from after doing the long division, all this math. Yes, beautiful. But now we're going to use the AC method. And what I mean by the AC method is that ax squared plus bx equals c. Oh, sorry, plus c equals 0. So basically, we're going to be using the a from here and the c and basically multiplying them together. And what we get is that we get negative 18. And we're trying to figure out what multiplies to negative 18 but adds up to, trying to figure out what multiplies to negative 18 but adds up to negative 7. Wait, positive 7, sorry. So what adds up to 7? So let's see, let's think of some numbers. So let's see. Well, what multiplies to negative 18 is positive 9 and negative 2. And it adds up to positive 7. And yeah, basically what we're trying to do is what adds up. The AC method is that we multiply the A value, which is 3, times the C value, which is negative 6, and we get negative 18. And we're trying to figure out what multiplies to negative 18 under the AC, but what adds up to 7. And this is our solution. And we're going to bring it back, and we're going to write 7x as a difference. And what I mean by that, and you'll see in a moment what I mean, is basically 3x squared, and let me change colors because I feel like that's important. So 3x squared, and it doesn't matter wherever you put it, you'll still get hopefully the same answer, plus 9x. Basically, we're going to say bye-bye to this, the 7x, plus 9x minus 2x minus 6. Now what can we do after that? Well, what we can do after this is we can group. Now you might have heard that term before in your math class, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to group these. So what we get after this is 3x squared, and I'm going to zoom in now because 3x squared plus 9x negative times negative, well, not times, but we're grouping it. So negative 2x minus 6. We're grouping it. Now, what can we take out of this? So we'll focus on, we're going to see what we can take out of the 3x squared plus 9x. Well, I can see we can take out a 3. So that's good, because if we divide by 3, we're left with x squared plus 3x. But what we can also take out something else. Do you think you know what that something else is? Correct. We can take out the x as well. And what we're left with 3. Wait, we're not left with 3, sorry. We're left with x. And I'll show you why. So if we take out the 3x, we're basically left with x plus 3. That's what we're left with. And because we took out the 3x. And if we multiply it back, distribute it back, we're back to this. But we're not here for that. We're here for another way. And then what can we take out of negative 2x minus 6? We can take out, I can see we can take out a negative. That's good. What else? We can take out a 2 as well. Good job. And after this, what we get after that is negative 2. And once we take that out, we get x plus 3. And if you multiply this back, distribute it back, you get back to this, square 1. But we're not here for that, like I said. But now we can see that we can get a 0 from this. And what we get is 3x minus 2 multiplied by x plus 3. And this gives us our other zeros that we need. So what we get is 3x minus 2. So 3x minus 2 is equal to 0. And when we move this to the right, we get 2 is equal to 3x. So x is equal to 2 over 3. And that's one of our solutions. And then the other one is that x plus 3, well, x plus 3 is equal to 0. We move it to the right. We get x is equal to negative 3. And something that I forgot to mention, and we're done. We figured out all the zeros, and let me bring those up there. Let me bring those up here. And something I forgot to mention, like, sorry I didn't mention it sooner, but since this has 2 x's, we have 2 x's. 2 x's as our solutions, you could say. Because x minus 1, basically it's x minus, basically what it is, it's x minus 1 squared. So it has double 0, but other than that, we have all our 3 solutions. Because you might say that, oh, it has a power, this has a power of 4. And if you know that it has a degree of 4, it should have 4 zeros. But keep in mind that this one right here is this x equals 1 is a touch and bounce. But that's something that you don't need to know. And that's all. And I hope this helped. It's a lot of work, but other than that, you should be good. Goodbye.